Hi everyone, my name is Kevin Casper. I am a horticultural major in CSU, and sorry, my cat, I love him. His name is Freddy Krueger. I got him, he's almost a year now. He'll be a year in July. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't want to listen to me talk about my cat. Um, like I said, I am a horticultural major with CSU. I am taking this class because it was really interesting to me, the topic of human health as well as horticulture, because I'm huge with overall diet and nutrition. I thought this would be really interesting, and I've not been disappointed. What I found really great about this class, though, was a couple modules ago when we discussed the human microbiome, because I personally have dealt with intestinal problems as well as been bitten by a Lone Star tick here in New Jersey, because I am in Burlington County just outside of Philly, but I go hiking quite often throughout the entire state as well as all over the East Coast. I will take the trip, and have developed that wonderful red meat allergy, alpha gal, so I no longer can eat red meat, which normally I don't eat it to begin with, so it wasn't too much impactful in my life, but it does kind of suck. But I will actually touch base on that while getting further into the microbiome of the human anatomy. So, what the human microbiome has been deemed its own organ, and it was initially discovered back in the mid-1800s by Theodore Esrich, if I pronounce his name right, sorry if I don't. He was observing the intestinal flora of both healthy children as well as children who were suffering by the disease known as E. coli, and that's when the concept of the microbiome was really discovered and pinpointed. But after that, it kind of was just like disregarded and not really focused too much on. Studies weren't really done until recently, within the past decade or so, when there was this renewal in the interest of it. And we've discovered that there are multiple microbiomes contained in the human body. They consist in our actual oral cavity itself, our intestinal tract, so not just the oral cavity, but that part of our intestinal tract alone has its own microbiome. Our actual external skin has it, and there's microbiomes that are in our blood through fungal spores, and the fungus organisms that live in our blood, kind of live in our blood, they're actually more innate, which I thought was really cool, and that these communities are made up of more than 1 trillion microbes. And that's not just overall, that's alone in the intestinal biome. As well, there's actually a belief that the human biome is an important factor with our natural body functions, such as our immune responses. So, we've had research that have proven our individual microbiomes are greatly influenced by our mothers, which these studies have shown our microbiomes are actually sterile before birth, and that the colonization of the microbes occur within the first year after birth, which the stabilization of the microbiota in the gut really depends on the modes of our breastfeeding, and the breastfeeding that we receive also indicates what nutrients we're really getting from our mothers, and that's obviously influenced by the mother's diet during this time, how much alcohol she consumes, if she's a smoker, if she does any other recreational drugs, and really what she's eating in terms of healthy choices, if she's eating fruits, vegetables, nuts. I think it was shown like a quarter cup of walnuts, I think, during your pregnancy. I think it was like a day helps with eye development or something like that. I honestly don't remember, so correct me if I'm wrong. I'm really sorry. I'm terrible with that sort of stuff. But the diet itself actually, at that time, helps build our microbiome in our gut and helps that colonization, which really can help predispose us to problems such as inflammatory bowel disorder like IBD as we get older, or even colon cancer development. So on my slide, I have attached an image that I found was really useful in terms of the microbiome of our intestinal tract, because our whole intestinal tract, starts with the mouth. So, and then it goes down your esophagus into your stomach, into your large and lower intestines, and out, obviously, through your rectal and your fecal matter. Well, what's there is broken down into what you see in those specific portions of the microbiome of the intestinal tract. And many of these common bacteria that are there are actually provided in any probiotics that you take, such as Lactobacillus and Streptococcus. Streptococcus. There we go. Let's try that one again. It is currently, 2:15 in the morning that I'm recording this because everyone else is asleep and I have horrible anxiety about presenting even in front of family. So let's go. However, with that, any imbalance in one of those bacteria can cause problems such as an increase in candida can actually cause oral thrush in your mouth, or the common yeast infection that most women have experienced, and even some men have experienced this because of an increase in it. And that's really a problem when you have one of those imbalances, because that's what it can lead to, is weird and some very uncomfortable problems that we face. Sorry, I hit the keys. So overall, what I concluded from my research further going into these reviews and peer reports was that the human microbiome, which was showed despite being discovered so long ago now, the renewed interest that we had, we're learning more about it and how the care for the microbiome has given a lot of understanding to what our common and new, like, modern plagues are, such as the childhood obesity that we're facing, the food allergies that a lot of people are developing, such as celiac diseases, and how many people are now being diagnosed with Crohn's disease, as well as like ulcerative colitis, and that a lot of this can actually be traced back to an overuse of antibiotics at young ages, as well as the care for the crops and animals that we use as our food supply. With that, I feel that really actual, nobody, you can't come up on camera. What we should be doing is really funding research into this, doing more studies and trying to understand it, because our actual reviews have shown that we are greatly influenced by what we eat as well. It's not just, what our mothers ate, it's how we care for ourselves. So it's really a bigger picture and a larger portion to our human health than what it is, which I thought was really great. And there was a study that was conducted on mice, actually, where they were both antibiotic-treated mice. One was fed a grain-based diet of wheat, corn, and alfalfa, which mainly showed a higher count of the E. coli in their fecal matter, while yeast wasn't detected by a culture or gram stain. But the mice that were fed a defined diet that consisted more of casein as the protein source, if I was pronouncing that word correctly, as well as maltodextrin 10, sucrose as their carbohydrates, and lard as the primary fat source, yielded non-cultivatable gram-positive cocci and cultivatable yeast that were detected in the feces, which is interesting to me because that's two separate things based on diets alone. So it's really showing how influential this is, which actually traces back to what our microbiome consists of at that first year of birth in our mother's diets, because depending on what they eat also develops that for us, as I stated. And I think that's really fascinating, because I talked to my own mother several times about what I personally crave, and my entire diet has been basically what she ate while pregnant with me. So I can't vouch for everyone that it's probably the same, but a lot of the time I've noticed with my nieces and nephews, and even my own siblings, what my mother and their mothers ate while pregnant greatly influenced what they particularly crave. Like for me, my mom really only ate fish and veggies. Surprisingly, that's all I crave. I will eat fish every day of the week. I will eat a series of vegetables. I can go months and years without eating any type of candy. I am a sucker for a good cup of coffee like her. And then, in addition, we both have a wonderful sweet tooth for baked goods such as croissants and like sweet rolls. But cakes, pies, puddings, ice cream, we like them, but it's nothing special. So, I mean, it's just interesting to see that, as well as my mother has fibromyalgia as addition to irritable bowel syndrome. I alone suffered from horrible bouts of intestinal pain for years, and we've done test after test after test. I've done 2 upper endoscopies, a colonoscopy. I've done a pill endoscopy, actually. It was like an 8 to 10 hour video. It was weird. I swallowed a pill-sized camera, had a radio battery pack that kind of looked like an old Walkman player attached, like, on a sling attached to my body with the little sticky pads going across, like, my chest and abdominal region. And I felt bad that these poor doctors had to watch this whole entire video of my guts to see if there was any signs of anything. And there wasn't. No inflammation, no abnormal divots, no blood pooling, no abnormal growths, no tumors, nothing. To try to figure out what it is. And then I really started paying attention to my individual diet and what works. Oh, okay, baby. Here. And then I basically really studied that, and I never knew anything about the human microbiome. So getting to learn more about this and research more about it and how it affects our diets, or reverse that, how our diets actually affect it, and how medications really do influence our microbiome is really interesting, because I did take a lot of medications. I was put on so many because, oh, well, I'm in chronic stomach pain, I have chronic diarrhea, I have this, I have that, and the doctors aren't sure what it is. And then at some points there's been medications where I was told literally that this medication is basically going to kill everything in my system so that way it can build itself back up naturally. And it's not that I don't think, I feel that that's not good, that we shouldn't be doing something so harmful to our bodies. What is going on with you, Fred? That we shouldn't be doing something like that to our bodies, and that actual healthy choices and being able to look at what we're putting in our bodies and diets, how it affects our microbiomes, because introducing each one keeps a vast diversity that we should have in order to remain healthy and promote a better immune response to outside organisms and viruses, much like the current pandemic that we're in, where it's something different that a lot of people who are predisposed to already having health problems are weaker against something like this virus that we're facing. So I think it's a really interesting topic and something that should definitely be looked into more, and I feel that everyone should really start looking into what they're alone predisposed for, if they have any medical family history, or if they are experiencing something, that they should really consider what could be the cause of the imbalance that I'm experiencing almost. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that. I hope I did a good job. Feel free to tell me how much I sucked if I did. It's okay. Yeah, otherwise, thank you so much for listening. I'm sorry I rambled quite a bit there. I think it's something really interesting and something that you should really actually go back and read about if you haven't, because it's really an awesome topic, and I think the human body is so fascinating, and it's weird. It's just downright weird, and I think that's why I like it. Alright, thank you so much.